Here are the crypto top headlines covered in this video. Bitcoin crashes to $53,000, but analysts warn the worst isn't over. Also, 99% of Mt. Gox's $8.2 billion of Bitcoin could be sold, says Analyst. Plus, here's when Bitcoin could reach its cycle peak if history repeats itself, according to Crypto Analyst. Welcome to Crypto Top Headlines, where there's no clickbait thumbnails or titles, and no speeches on my opinions, just bringing crypto's news to you. We have a quick request that doesn't cost you anything in order to help. Help us grow this channel to 1,000 subscribers by September, which would be our channel's 1-year anniversary. All we ask is that you click on the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell. By clicking on these, it does help grow the channel, so thank you in advance for doing so. Now, on to these headlines. Our first top headline, Bitcoin crashes to $53,000, but analysts warn the worst isn't over. Analysts say Bitcoin could sink as low as $50,000, but strong macro conditions and an entrenched buy-the-dip mentality could see BTC's price action rebound quickly. Bitcoin crashed as low as $53,600 on Coinbase on July 5th, the first time the asset has traded at this price since February, and analysts fear the worst is yet to come. Bitcoin has since leveled out to trade at $54,122 at the time of publication, according to TradingView data. Speaking to Cointelegraph, eToro market analyst Josh Gilbert said much of the sell-off could be traced back to fears stemming from Mt. Gox creditor repayments, which will see around $8 billion worth of BTC hit the market in July. Following the sudden dip to $53,600, Gilbert said he expects to see worsening price action for Bitcoin in the coming days. The news flow is far more bearish than bullish right now, and the selling activity we're seeing is quite clearly unsettling investors, which often drives more selling, Gilbert said. It wouldn't surprise me to see the asset test $50,000 within the next week, but that will be a key psychological level. There will be weakness in the short term until we receive a catalyst to drive the price higher, and that might come in the form of investors buying the dip or an ETF approval to improve sentiment, he added. Similarly, Swift analyst Pav Hundal told Cointelegraph that the worst of Bitcoin's price action could be yet to come. A vast wall of Bitcoin is about to meet a market that was already apathetic. The macro conditions long-term are still positive, but short-term we could test $50,000 and potentially lower. $52,000 is a key battleground for bears and bulls at the moment, said Hundal. Analysts from 10x Research also predicted a continued dip that could see the price of Bitcoin dip to as low as $50,000 in the coming weeks, warning that selling could accelerate as support gets broken and sellers scramble to find liquidity. Reasons to be bullish about Bitcoin. Despite the short-term bearish outlook, Gilbert said there are also reasons for investors to remain bullish on a longer-term time horizon. We look to catalysts such as the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates in September, with the potential for another cut in December to lift prices. On top of that, the full acceptance of an Ethereum ETF from the SEC with a July launch date would be a big boost for the crypto market, he added. Let me pause here for a moment. If you're getting value out of this video, please click on the like and subscribe buttons as well as the notification bell. Our next top headline, up to 99% of Mt. Gox's $8.2 billion of Bitcoin could be sold, says Analyst. Nearly all of Mt. Gox's former creditors might be looking to sell their Bitcoin, which has increased by over 8,500% in value in the 10 years since the exchange's collapse. Most of the Bitcoin being repaid by defunct exchange Mt. Gox will likely be sold, threatening to cause more downside pressure on the price of Bitcoin. The Mt. Gox repayments could add $8.2 billion worth of additional selling pressure to the Bitcoin price, according to finance analyst Jacob King. The analyst said that on-chain movements already point to the fact that Mt. Gox's creditors have started selling, King wrote in a July 4th X post. No Bitcoiner will say this out loud, but the majority of the $8.2 billion in BTC that is set to be distributed back to X clients are going to be sold off. The gloomy prediction comes hours after Mt. Gox began repaying its debts in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, the collapsed crypto exchange announced on July 5th. Will Mt. Gox send Bitcoin back into bear market territory? The predictions raise concerns about the price of Bitcoin, which has been struggling to gain traction for over a month and is currently trading above the $60,000 psychological mark. Bitcoin has been in a downtrend for the entire month of June, logging a nearly 18% loss during the second quarter of 2024. However, the market selling by Mt. Gox's creditors could potentially take Bitcoin back into bear market territory, according to the analyst. I understand this is a controversial, but based on the current low demand volume, this will easily send BTC back into a harsh bear market. The Bitcoin price fell 3.9% in the 24 hours leading up to 10:17 a.m. UTC on July 5th to trade at $55,250. The world's first crypto is down over 10% on the weekly chart, according to CoinMarketCap data. Despite the potential selling pressure, the repayments are a positive development for the industry and the defunct exchange's users. This sentiment is echoed by Mark Karpeles, the former CEO of Mt. Gox, who highlighted this in a July 5th X post. Despite the potential selling pressure, the repayments come as a positive for the industry and the exchange's defunct users, as also highlighted by Mark Karpeles, the former CEO of Mt. Gox. He wrote in a July 5th X post. Mt. Gox customers have finally started receiving Bitcoins. After over 10 years, I wasn't sure anymore if it'd finally happen, but here we are finally. This has been a long journey and I'm happy to see we're finally getting there, only a bit more. Up to 99% of Mt. Gox's creditors could be selling, according to the analyst. More than $9.4 billion worth of Bitcoin is owed to approximately 127,000 Mt. Gox creditors who have been waiting for over 10 years to recover their funds. Considering that Bitcoin price increased by over 8,500% during the past 10 years, the majority of defunct creditors will likely look to lock in some profits. This is partly why King also expects around 99% of the creditors to sell their BTC. He wrote, I'd say 99% of those on Mt. Gox are going to sell their coins the moment they get it. Imagine billions worth of Bitcoin all being dumped gradually over the next several weeks. There is no way to spin this to be bullish or news that could offset this. Our next top headline, here's when Bitcoin could reach its cycle peak if history repeats itself, according to crypto analyst. A widely followed crypto analyst says he's identified when Bitcoin could reach its cycle high if history were to repeat itself. In a new strategy session, crypto trader Rekt Capital tells his 481,200 followers on the social media platform X that the top crypto asset by market cap tends to peak 518 to 546 days after its halving event, which occurs in April every 4 years. In the 2015 to 2017 cycle, Bitcoin peaked 518 days after the halving. In the 2019 to 2021 cycle, Bitcoin peaked 546 days after the halving. If history repeats and the next bull market peak occurs 518 to 546 days after the halving, that would mean Bitcoin could peak in this cycle in mid-September or mid-October 2025. However, Rekt Capital notes that due to the latest crypto market crash, the Crypto King's rate of acceleration has drastically fallen. Earlier this year, Bitcoin was accelerating in this cycle by 260 days. Currently, however, thanks to this over 3-month consolidation, this rate of acceleration has drastically dropped and is now approximately 150 days. The longer Bitcoin consolidates after the halving, the better it will be for resynchronizing this current cycle with the traditional halving cycle. The trader goes on to make the case that BTC has likely bottomed out by comparing all BTC pullbacks since February 2023. Here is a list of all Bitcoin pullbacks dating to the bear market bottom of 2022. Down 23% February 2023. Down 21% April to May 2023. Down 22% July to September 2023. Down 21% January 2024. Down 23.6% April to May 2024. Down 21% thus far, June 2024. Average retrace in this cycle is down 22%. Therefore, this current pullback is almost an average down 22% correction. Bitcoin is trading for $56,521 at the time of writing, a 2.6% decrease during the last 24 hours. So this concludes Crypto Top Headlines. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to click on the like and subscribe buttons as well as the notification bell. Also, leave your thoughts in the comments and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you all for watching Crypto Top Headlines, bringing crypto's news to you.